This time we're looking at two-variable analysis when both of the variables are qualitative. So in this example, we're looking at a relationship between gender and how much pressure a student feels to do well in school. So going back to my data set, I can see that my gender variable is here at the very beginning in column B, and then my pressure variable is way down here in column U. So it's not ideal to have them that far apart. It's ideal to have them next to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of the columns that are in between those two, and I'm just going to click on a little down arrow here with at the column header, and I'm going to choose to hide columns C through T. When I hide those columns, it puts gender and pressure right next to each other, which makes it easier to do this analysis. So in this case, I have two options for gender. Everyone has selected male or female, and I have three different options for how much pressure a student feels. They're either choosing a lot, some, or very little. So back in my contingency table, along one side I have my two gender options, and along the top I have three options for how much pressure a student feels. So I have the very little, some, and a lot. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do kind of a double sort here. So I'm going to sort first by gender, and then I'm going to sort by how much pressure they feel. So again, I'm going to select everything because we want to sort all of the data. And so I'm going to choose data sort range and choose data has header row. And I'm going to first sort by gender. Then I'm going to add another sort column here. And then I'm going to sort by pressure, which is the other variable. So sorting by gender first, then by pressure. And when I click sort, what I get is all my females together and all the males together. And then in the pressure, it sorts them into the three categories for pressure. So what I'm going to add to my contingency table is the number of people that fall into each of these categories. So female and a lot of pressure, when I just highlight that and look at the count, is 6. And that is out of a total of 17 female participants. So in my contingency table, I'm going to add in 6 out of 17. And if I go back again to my spreadsheet, I can see that for some females who feel some pressure is 10 and very little is 1. So I go back here, I put 10 out of 17 and then 1 out of 17. And then if I do the same thing for the male population, I just need to get the total, have the numbers in there already, but the total number of male participants in this sample is 11. So these values are going to be out of 11. So now I've gone back and added in, actually done the calculations and gotten the percentage values for each category. And from that I can look at the data and try to make some conclusions. So I can see that with this data, there's significantly more males who feel very little pressure. So I can say according to the data, more males feel very little pressure. And also a lot of pressure. And more females feel some pressure. Okay, so from the data that we have, we can make a conclusion statement that answers our two-variable question about whether there's a relationship between gender and how much pressure a student feels.